how I love the women in my church who stand when everything around their soul gives way. Oh, how the grace and glory of God shine off of their lives. I've been there 28 years. I've walked through a lot of dark valleys with them, and I've buried a lot of children. It doesn't lead to wimpy womanhood, but it does lead to womanhood. That theology, that ultimate purpose of the world, it does lead to true womanhood. In fact, it leads to a mind-boggling understanding of true womanhood. What we have seen so far in those three texts, and there are many others that could be used to supplement that, what we have seen so far is this: masculinity and femininity, manhood and womanhood, belong at the center of God's ultimate purpose. Manhood and womanhood are not an afterthought of creation. They're not an afterthought of the cross. They're not peripheral to the design of what is being said when Jesus dies to magnify the grace of God. They're right there at the center at Calvary. It's staggering. Oh, how I pray that you women would be done with small thoughts about God's design for womanhood. We have a curse on human nature called triviality. The big problems with television and movies are not sex and violence, it's banality. It's living every day as though TV mattered. It doesn't matter at all. It's here today and gone tomorrow, and then eternity. And the things that are unseen matter. And I would just like to see 6,000 souls rise into the significance of what matters in the world. You can transform every simple diaper moment or any other moment into massive significance if you realize that your womanhood is here being brought to the very center of the purposes of God in this universe, which come to a climax when Christ, the husband, bought his bride. Genesis 1:27, God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. Now, sometimes I think we make a mistake by thinking like this. Well, God created us that way, then later he sends his son to die for sinners and create a people for himself by his own blood, and he thought, now I want to make this intelligible. I will look for some analogy that might be illuminating and work. Oh, look, there's marriage. That might work. I will apply marriage to the meaning of what my son has achieved. That's not the way it happened. And there's a reason why we know that's not the way it happened. When God designed in his own eternal mind how he would make a creature called a human in two varieties, male and female, when he thought about that, he had in his mind already the cross. That's why he made us the way He made us. He didn't make us this way and then later think, oh, that would work. I'll apply that to the cross. That's not the way it happened. Now, here's why we know that. Because in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 31, Paul quotes Genesis 2:24 like this. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So it's reaching back before the fall, all the way to the beginning, the first marriage, and he is quoting it. And then he adds this spectacularly important interpretation. He says in verse 32, this mystery is profound. Namely Genesis 2:24, man leaving, cleaving, new flesh. This mystery is profound, and I am saying it refers to Christ and the church. Thousands of years before there was any cross, God said about manhood and womanhood, this is about the most important event in history. That's why I made them this way. I mean, for this manhood and womanhood choreography, in marriage mainly, and in singleness, we will see, to be a display of the most important thing in the universe, my Son, displaying my grace in sacrificing His life as a husband for His wife. So here's my main point. What is the ultimate meaning of true womanhood? It's this. True womanhood is a distinctive calling of God to display the glory of His Son in ways that would not be displayed if there were no womanhood. Say it again. It's a distinctive calling, womanhood. True womanhood is a distinctive calling of God to display the glory of God, the glory of God, the glory of His Son, in ways that would not be displayed if there were no womanhood. When God described the glorious work of His Son as the sacrifice of a husband for His bride, He was telling us why He made us male and female. He made us this way so that our maleness and femaleness would display more fully the glory of His Son in relationship to His blood-bought bride. This means, this is huge now in our egalitarian world, this means that if you try to reduce your womanhood to physical features or biological functions, and then determine your role in life purely on the basis of competencies, you not only miss the point of womanhood, you diminish the glory of Christ in your own life. Your distinctive female personhood is indispensable in God's purpose to display the fullness of His glory. It's not incidental to your personhood. It exists because it's God's designed relationship to the central event of history, the death of His Son.